What is your American dream?
My American dream is to be great.
My American dream is to be a singer.
My American dream is to own a company.
My American dream is to be able to say whatever I want to say.
My American dream is to become a famous rapper.
My American dream is world peace.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. January 10th, another day in the neighborhood here at Brad Show Live. I am joined by the ever lovely, ever wonderful, fantastic, one of the best co-hosts in town.
Wow.
If not the best. How about, you're not one of the best.
How about the best?
The best co-host in town, Yonathan, Dr. Love, Dr. Yo-Yo, baby boy, Elias.
Oh, there you go.
What's happening?
What's up? How
I saw you in the elevator
Yes.
earlier. We had a good laugh.
A good laugh.
Good laugh.
I wonder why.
I don't know, but you make me laugh, Yo-Yo. This Yo-Yo guy makes me laugh. He's funny.
Yeah.
So, any plans for the weekend?
Yeah. Doing a bar mitzvah.
Yes.
And have some parties to go to.
Yes, as usual.
As usual. Yeah.
Right.
You know, the same
It's
thing.
it's like every day you wake up, you're like in Groundhog's Day.
Yeah,
You're
right.
in Yo-Yo Groundhog's Day, all right? You and
Exactly.
Sam.
Yeah.
Right? Every day is the same. You wake up, you go to the gym.
Do the same thing.
Right, you eat,
Yes.
Brad Show Live, party, fall asleep at 3, redo it again.
Brad knows my life.
I know your life.
You know my life. 7
days a week. The man is a happy man, folks.
Yes.
Let's go say hello to the squad. Cordella Douglas saying squad up. Jessica Leamy. I know Jessica Leamy was watching because she shared the video right to our feed.
Oh,
Which
see?
she always does. Chetty Maduri saying, up top, Deion Watson, Fearless, Michelle, squad up, Elizabeth Francis, squad up, Weena Gwen, squad up. Wow. I drank my coffee so fast before the show.
No, what happened?
It's a bit repetitive.
Oh.
Okay, now I'm good.
You good now?
I'm good
All
now.
right.
All right. Marcia
sure.
Watson, how are you? Christy Consali. Sydney. Little Caesar Pizza Bursick.
Yes.
I see she is watching too. I hope so. She's part of this crew.
Right.
Camilla Pete said squad up. Charmaine Wallace squad up. Nancy Abell squad up. Elizabeth Francis squad up. Carol Anderson, the Tiger Prosper, Ikachuku. And Janet Brown saying Ma Dukes is here too.
Woo.
And by the way, our pre-comment of the day goes to Carol Anderson, the Tiger, who says, this is the show that you get all your immigration questions answers, and the only can do that is the best man, Brad Bernstein. And
How
congratulations, Cordella, the Tiger, with the pre-comment.
Yes.
We have post-comments and now pre-comments of the day.
Congratulations.
Yes. Jessica Leamy Joel, she is double fisting watching on YouTube as well. Donald Horton saying good evening, everybody. What's up, Brad, Dr. Yo-Yo? How you all doing this evening? It's Friday, and yes, it's payday.
Woo!
For everybody but me.
Every day is payday for you.
Aha! Shalom! Hello, Sexy Shan Myers saying, hey, Brad, squad. Cordella Douglas. Jamila Russell saying hello. Simone Garraway. D. Gore has a question we'll get to in a little bit. Cindy Albert saying hello. Fortunate MD. Facebook page is down.
Yeah, it's not. I just checked. I just read that and I looked.
Fortunate MD. You are an unfortunate soul because everybody else's Facebook is up but yours.
Yeah, maybe they're talking about their own Facebook page.
Counselor, squad up, goat lawyer. Now, the goat could be, I screwed up. But in this particular goat, it's capital. So that means I am the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
All right, so Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I stretch my quads, you talk to the squad.
Absolutely. All right, first things first, everybody on Facebook and YouTube.
I forgot something.
What's up?
Instagram.
Oh,
one day
snap.
we're on, stop.
Are we on?
1 second, yeah,
This
I
is like the
forgot.
second time in a
Yeah,
row.
one day we're on, one day we're off. I forget this Instagram.
Yeah.
Let me go say hello to Instagram people, right? We can't forget them. Dr. J.
Hey.
Famous basketball player. Sparta William. Sandy Boo, I'm a B saying hello. Cordella Douglas. I think she could be our first double fister on Instagram.
Oh, that's a triple fister.
Is she triple? She's on. I don't think she's on YouTube.
Oh.
You
Who's
can't
gonna be the first triple fister?
Can you even be? You don't have three. What would you do?
Double fister with a foot.
A double fister with a foot. Who's going to be the first double fister with a foot? I wonder. All right, and the nurse is joined. Moya Madhu. Alicia Shamar, and by the way, we are live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and now. Baby Boy is going to tell you what we need you to do to get the word out.
Absolutely. All right, everybody on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. I think you guys already know what I'm about to say. I need you guys to all join the Facebook fan page. It's Brad Show Live Facebook fan page. And all you have to do is click that little link that we're going to post in the comment section and click join.
I have a public service announcement.
What's up?
We still have our free consultation contest going on.
We do.
If you want to double fist or even double fist with a foot, you go to Brad Show Live Instagram page right now. It's at Brad Show Live. Easy to remember. Go to our Instagram page right now. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you find the post that says Schmoozing with Brad. It's somewhere in the last few days. Actually, it was yesterday.
Right.
You find that post that says Schmoozing with Brad, where I am talking about the Australian wildfires, and you tag 5 friends on that post and you like it. Follow Brad Show Live. Follow the Schmoozing with, find the Schmoozing with Brad post. You like that post. It's the Schmoozing where I'm talking about the Australian wildfires. You tag 5 of your friends. You'll see that post because there's lots of people who have already tagged 5 of their friends. It's really hard to miss. It was in the last few days, yesterday or 2 days ago, so you don't have to scroll down too far. And what do you get when you do all of that? You get entered into a contest to win a free consultation with me. We're going to pick out of our machine on Wednesday, Hump Day, all of the people who followed those instructions just right now. Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, tell them the instructions one more time, plus tell them everything else they need to do.
Yes, all you have to do, like he said, the last post that was posted with the Australian brush fires, the Schmoozing with Brad, just like it and tag 5 of your friends in there and you'll get entered in the drawing. And also, I wanted to shout out Tawny Baby on YouTube saying, what am I, chopped liver? I'm on all pages.
She is. She is our first.
Okay.
Julian, can we get some congratulations to Tanya Baby? Woo! She is the first double fister with a foot on YouTube, on Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, Julian, I'll give you some applause later on.
Right.
In the meantime, Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
All right, so everybody on Facebook, I need you guys to share this video to everybody you know, everybody's page. You can send it in the inbox, you can send it to groups. Most importantly, I want you guys also to comment. Put all of your comments in the comment section right now. Put all your questions in right now. Like, love, smiley face, sad face, wild face, whatever you're feeling, make sure you show that love to the video as well. Now on YouTube, first things first, I need you all to subscribe. Click that little red button with the bell that's right next to it so you can get notified anytime we get on. Make sure you put all your questions in the comment section as well, and please like the video. We need the thumbs up, guys. That helps us with the algorithm. It shows that this video is good. It'll tell everybody else that you should be watching it. So turn that gray thumb blue. All right, now everybody on Instagram Live, I need you guys all to share this video right now. However many people are on right now, I need you all to DM it. All you have to do, it's a little arrow. It's like a triangle arrow.
Wait. We have some consternation going on. Some consternation. Cordella Douglas is claiming she is the first person to scale Mount Everest. And double fist with a foot.
Okay, that's up to you.
I don't know. Who scaled the mountain first?
I don't know. I'm
Could they have
leaving that up to you.
could they have reached the peak at the same time?
Possibly.
Let's give it to both of them. Let's give it to both of them. All right, continue.
Smartest way to do
Yes.
it. All right, everybody on Instagram, make sure you share this video to all of your DM friends. All you have to do is click the little share button and it'll DM it to anybody that you want to DM it to. All right? Now, this is what you guys have been waiting for. This is where we schmooze with Brad.
All right, the Australian climate problems are still going on. The wildfires there. Thousands of activists have marched in several major cities across Australia on Friday, calling on the government to act on climate change, on the climate crisis that is affecting Australia. Australia is really, that and Southeast Asia are going to be the two hardest hit places first about climate change. Watch, besides Australia, it's going to be Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, that whole area there.
Yeah.
And then it's going to spread around the whole world. It's coming your way too. Yeah. You see that picture right now? It's coming everywhere because nobody is doing anything about it. The protests organized by national student organization Uni Students for Climate Justice were set to take place in 9 cities, including Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and Perth. Friday's protests have pushed for 5 main demands. Let's fund firefighters. We need more of them. Relief and aid for affected communities. Land and water sovereignty for indigenous communities, an immediate transition towards renewable energy, and a just transition for workers in the fossil fuel industry. A total of 27 people have died so far in Australia. Over 1 billion animals have died, 2,000 homes destroyed, and it is not over yet.
Right.
And if you think this is a one-off thing, it's going to get worse next year, and the year after, and the year after.
Yeah.
And it's coming your way too.
Yeah.
What you see in Australia is going to happen everywhere.
People think that we're safe just because
that's
it's not
correct.
happening here.
Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, he campaigned on the fact that climate change is #fake news. And he's now facing growing anger and frustration from the public as the fires are continuing to spiral out of control. He was widely criticized for taking a vacation in Hawaii while the fires were raging in southwest Australia last month. He has been accused of downplaying the problem. It's not to be downplayed anymore. Earlier today, American firefighters arrived to applause at the airport.
I saw that video.
And more than $4,200 are going to each of the volunteer firefighters battling the blazes for more than 10 days. Critics, as I said, have pointed out his history of climate skepticism and support for coal miners.
Oh, God.
Do you know who coal miners support?
Who?
Do you know who coal miners support? Coal miners support, it's out of order here, Donald Trump.
Okay, that makes sense.
Why does coal miners support Donald Trump? Because the Trump administration has now rolled back more than 100 environmental regulations that are supposed to curb climate change. They have rolled it back to cause more pollution, more climate change. Who loves that? Coal miners.
Right.
And you know what also Trump did? He pulled out of the Paris Accords. The Paris Accords was the first small, puny attempt by the world to try to get our climate change under control. He pulled out of it because he said America has too much of an economic burden. But America is responsible for, I don't know the exact amount, but a large portion of the pollution that is going in the air that is causing climate change. Now, Donald Trump in 2016, when he was campaigning in West Virginia, he was saying, I love coal. Coal's the best. Climate change is a hoax. He even tweeted once, it's snowing in Washington. What happened to climate change, right?
Right.
What happened to global warming? Well, today, when asked by a White House pool reporter if he believes climate change is a hoax, the president changed his mind.
Of course.
For the first time that I am aware of, the president said, quote, no, not at all. Nothing's a hoax. Nothing's a hoax about that. It's a very serious subject. I want clean air. I want clean water.
Really?
This is the first time
that
he has ever said that while he was in the Rose Garden ceremony or somewhere in a ceremony honoring the rollback of 100 environmental regulations, which will only line the pockets of him and his rich cat friends, while we all choke on our water and we all choke on our air and we all have to live in fear of what is happening in Australia is going to happen in our backyard too. Trump, he's gone back and forth a lot on this because I have here in my notes, he called climate change a make-believe problem, a big scam, a Chinese hoax, yet he calls himself an environmentalist. Now, hundreds of thousands of public comments against the president's move have flowed in. Scientists have spoken out in opposition about what he's doing to the environment here and what's happening to the environment around the world. Nothing has so far stopped him. Let me go back to the rest of my cards now. I'm out of order here. Let's see, what else is happening? Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has passed war powers resolution to restrict Donald Trump from going to war against Iran without permission from the House. We do not know whether the Senate's going to pass that or not, because the House is made up of a majority of Democrats. That's the general who got killed. But the Republicans control the Senate. We'll see if the Republicans cede their control to the president and just hand him more and more power. We'll see if that happens. Donald Trump, because he's crazy. Because I remember we were talking about, he's out crazy and crazy. Okay? He was at his first campaign re-election rally for 2020. And at this rally, he was boasting in Toledo, Ohio, that by killing General Soleimani, this is what's called American justice. Then he condemned and mocked Democratic leaders for questioning his decision to carry out the attack without consulting Congress. Trump then questioned House Speaker Pelosi's mental acuity and called Representative Adam Schiff, who was leading the impeachment against him, a pencil neck. He also tagged Senator Bernie Sanders as crazy Bernie. We'll see what happens.
All right.
See what else is happening here. The 737 not talking about the 737 that got shot down by the Iranians. They're claiming that it didn't happen. But all foreign intelligence outside of Iran says that it was a anti-missile defense that went up, and it most likely mistook a low-flying airplane for an incoming missile.
That is horrible. And
shot that airplane out of the sky. It's actually sad because this Ukraine airline seems to get a lot of issues, because you remember the Malaysian airline also got shot out of the sky by an anti-missile over Ukraine during the war between Russia and Ukraine, which is still ongoing right now. And it's also interesting because the president of Ukraine is embroiled in this impeachment, and now he's also embroiled in the low-level war, which may be a big war between the United States and Iran. He wants to stay out of this, and he keeps getting back involved,
getting stuck
back in with the United States. Meanwhile, the other 737s that are a problem, those Boeing Maxes.
Yes.
Would you get on that plane?
So, my family has worked in airlines for a long time. My older sister, she's on the legal team with Southwest, which is why I have a companion pass.
Right, and by the way, Southwest Airlines was the biggest purchaser of the Boeing Max 737. For those who don't know, that was the planes that crashed, the Lion Air and the Ethiopian Air that crashed, brand new planes because of a computer software malfunction.
Right. Well, it was also because the pilots weren't trained.
Correct.
To handle that situation.
Correct.
So the thing is, Southwest is like one of the only carriers that actually have pilots that manually land the planes. Most airlines, their planes are landed
by software.
By software. So she said that they're working on, of course, bringing back those planes, but like now because of legal things, they have to actually say, hey, this is the plane that you're boarding. Like they have to say that.
Those planes but those planes still have not been. They have not been certified to come back.
Right.
One of the big things, and you pointed out, Boeing was saved over $2 or $3 million, I believe, by giving pilots the training for this airplane on an iPad.
Right.
On this.
Right.
This is how they got training.
Which
versus
is
being in an airplane simulator.
Exactly.
That and software malfunction. It takes a whole bunch of different things for ultimately these things to happen.
So to answer, I actually would. Because they are actually one of the safest planes if made right.
Right.
So
now
they're definitely not going to make that mistake again.
Now Boeing still has a big problem. They just fired their CEO, Muhlenberg.
Did they fire him or he stepped down?
They fired him, and after they fired him, it just came out that they gave him $63.5 million retirement package after being fired. Yo-Yo, would you be willing to get fired from Bradshaw Live for $63.5 million?
Do I have to answer that question?
Hell yes. Fire me, Mr. Bernstein. Where's my check? Who gets fired and gets $63.5 million after he was the head of an airplane company that manufactured a plane
that's trifling.
and designed a plane that killed people?
Trifling.
Now, Boeing has now released all of their documents between Boeing and the FAA. The FAA being the gold standard for airplane safety, which we don't know about anymore. In one message, employees mock the Federal Aviation Administration and brag about getting regulators to approve the Boeing 737 jet without requiring pilot training. In another document, an employee ridicules colleagues involved in the development of the trouble plane, saying, "This airplane is designed by clowns who in turn are supervised by monkeys."
Oh my gosh.
Some of the most concerning messages between Boeing employees when it relates to certifying this 737 MAX involve discussions of problems with the company's flight simulators, in which the company employees suggest they misled regulators about potential problems with this airplane. In a tweet, it came out, "I still haven't been forgiven by God for the covering up I did last year," one employee says in 2018, referring to an exchange of information with the FAA. The 737 MAX long before the plane was approved to fly passengers. Another employee wrote, "Would you put your family on a MAX simulator-trained aircraft? I wouldn't. No."
Wow.
Now, the House Transportation Committee called newly released documents incredibly damning, adding that they paint a deeply disturbing picture of the lengths Boeing was apparently willing to go in order to avoid scrutiny, save money on pilot training, and put the flying public in danger. A Boeing official said that the communications were written by a small number of employees, primarily Boeing technical pilots and personnel involved with the development and qualification of the Boeing 737 MAX. I will say this. I am, as of now, unless I see something different, pretty confident that when this airplane goes back in the sky, it will be the most reviewed airplane in the history of the world and certified as probably the safest airplane in the world before it goes up in the sky. I believe that.
What I agree. That's why I'll get on it. And
Right.
it's nice and comfortable. It's big. Psh. Oh, yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, electric scooters are making lawyers rich.
Why is that?
Because injuries have climbed to a 4-year high of 40,000 injuries with these electric scooters. Yeah, Moshe the bulldozer Baruch. He doesn't wish anybody harm, but he loves the scooter industry, I guess.
Wow.
So the electric scooter injuries have surged along with their popularity in the United States. 40,000 8,000 broken bones, head injuries, cuts,
my
and bruises
gosh.
resulting from these accidents in 2019. Most occurred between riders between the ages of 18 and 34. The study analyzed U.S. government data on non-fatal injuries. Improved rider safety measures and regulations are clearly needed. Tom Hanks has now become a citizen of Greece.
Oh,
That's exciting.
okay.
Now, the other day we discussed that Tom Hanks was presented with the Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award at the Golden Globes, and we were talking about, wow, we couldn't believe how many amazing movies.
Movies, yeah.
Well, just the other day, on December 27th, he was also presented with Greek citizenship. I can't pronounce his name. The president of Greece. Maybe you can help me. Prokopius Pavlopoulos.
Sure, that sounds great. That sounds great to
Julie
me.
says that was good. He signed the official paper marking the honorary naturalization of Tom Hanks. The iconic American film star has been among the most faithful of the Greek Orthodox Church for many years now, since he joined the church when he married his wife in 1988, his wife being Rita Wilson.
Is he still with her?
What?
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
he's still with her.
That's
Now,
awesome.
Ancestry.com discovered, what did they discover? They discovered he was in, the Mr. Rogers movie.
Yes, he was.
Okay,
He
now
plays Mr. Rogers.
Ancestry.com, this is weird. Did you see this?
No.
Ancestry.com discovered that Tom Hanks is actually related to Mr. Rogers.
What?
Yes, they're 6 cousins, according to
Are
Access
you
Hollywood. Isn't that
serious?
weird?
And did he not know that?
No, he didn't know that when he took the role. So he's
What?
playing Mr. Rogers in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and he didn't know that he was related to Mr. Rogers when he took the role.
Wow.
Ancestry figured it out that they were both 6 cousins from a common ancestor, Joannes Meffert.
Wow.
So Joannes Meffert, I guess Tom Hanks did the Ancestry.com at some point.
So that means that Fred Rogers did too.
Yes, and they have a mutual relative by the name of Joannes Meffert. Now, I did 23andMe, and I have to say that I looked through all of my relatives. They gave me about 500 relatives that I was related to all over the world. There's not one famous dude there.
Oh man.
Not one.
Dang.
There's nobody famous in my family. I thought maybe they would say I'm related to Leonard Bernstein.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's St. Bernstein.
Yeah. Nope.
No.
No.
No. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That's a damn. They're like, you're the great grandson of Leonard Bernstein. I'm like, where's my inheritance? So we have a little Tom Hanks video. Let's watch.
Our friends at Ancestry did some digging. You are related to Fred Rogers.
Impossible. No, you're pulling our leg. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, so he didn't even know.
They didn't even know until our correspondent at Bradshaw Live. No, it wasn't our correspondent at Bradshaw Live.
Huge.
Yeah. And finally, there was a false alarm in Palm Beach, Florida.
What happened?
A police were called to a house because they heard the chilling cries coming from inside of the house. Let me out! Let me out! Oh! 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 Over and over. The neighbors were freaking out. 4 Palm Beach County Sheriff deputies pulled up. A man was in his driveway fixing his automobile. Palm Beach County Sheriffs got out of the car. They said, something's up. They hear screaming coming from inside. The sheriffs even heard it. Let me out! Let me out! Oh, oh, oh! They were about to arrest this guy. They thought he was like a mass murderer, kidnapper. Right. Turns out it was the man's parrot.
Oh my God.
Yes, a video posted online.
What?
Yes, a video posted online. It doesn't identify the individual involved or reveal the location of the incident, except we know it was in the Lake Worth Beach, Florida area. And the parrot clearly can be heard saying, let me out, let me out! And the heart-wrenching groans. Do we have the video? We have the video of this?
Wow.
Can you imagine? And this guy's just working on his car. All right, did you just see that? The guy's working on his car, like nothing's happening. You hear this screaming, and the neighbors are like, something's going on there. The police come barreling in.
That is insane.
And it was the man's parrot.
That is so weird. Like, if you really think about it, that is so weird that a bird can speak. Like,
yeah. Now, the police officers, they finally had a laugh about it. And the bird's name, it's a 40-year-old parrot by the name of Rambo. And and then the man came out, he introduced the police officers to Rambo. And afterwards, they learned that sometimes Rambo yells, "Help! Help! Let me out!" Something he was taught when he was a kid, and Rambo lived in a cage.
Wow.
So Rambo, at some point in his life, the bird lived in a cage.
That's so funny.
And that's what he learned. And even though he was flying around the house and not caged, he just flies around all day, goes,
"Let me out!
Let me out! Ooh, ooh, ooh!"
That's hilarious.
All right, and with that, Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, we got to get into our meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
And tell everybody what they need to do.
All right, first things first, everybody on Facebook, I need you guys all to start your watch parties. All right, this is where you actually take our video from this page to your page, and you host it. You let everybody know about the show. So this is exactly how you do it. You click share, a couple options down that says start a watch party, then click start. All right, so we need everybody to do that right now. Now on YouTube, of course, we need you guys all to subscribe. Click that little red button. We just hit over 14,000, and that is because of your help. All right, make sure you share this video as well. Copy the link and send it in a text message blast, whether it's on WhatsApp, Viber, or any text message app that you use, and tell them to subscribe as well. All right, and click that little button that looks like a bell, because you get notified anytime we come on. Now on Instagram, I need you all to please DM this video, this live video. If you're not on Instagram right now watching it, but you do have an Instagram profile, just go on Instagram real quick, go on there, just do a couple comments on there, and then send that video out to any of your friends. I know you guys DM friends back and forth, even people you don't know, but you might know that they need help, or might know somebody they need help. So easily DM that video to their profile. All right, now this is what you guys have all been waiting for. This is where you call in and get your immigration
Before we take our calls, Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, we do got to remind everybody about our Instagram contest.
Yes.
Can you tell everybody, please?
All right, the post that says Schmoozin' with Brad, and it's talking about the Australian brush fires. I need you guys all to like that post. Of course, follow the Brad Show Live page, and then tag 5 friends. If you guys did this to the last for the last game, you cannot tag the same 5 friends.
Doesn't everybody want to get a free consultation from me?
I mean,
if you're not in the United States of America or you're not in New York, I do it by phone. We talk. I figure out your life problems. I charge $200 for this. I'm giving it away for free. And all you got to do is follow Brad Show Live on Instagram, tag 5 friends in the Schmoozing with Brad post where I talk about the Australian wildfires, and like that post.
That's it.
And then, excuse me 1 second, watch this. I am going to pull your name out of that machine.
There you go.
On Wednesday. Free consultation.
Do it right now.
You know how many people have done it right this moment?
How many?
I don't know.
No.
You tell me.
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. All right. Now, with that, I still can't take any calls, Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, because my wire got pulled out.
Oh, gosh.
And I even restarted our computer and still have all sorts of problems. I can't take a call. So while we fix our technical issues, I have to remind everybody, what do I got to remind people? We put a compilation together.
Okay,
of my answers. Let's give some people answers while we figure out our technical difficulties.
All right.
And we will get everybody's calls. I put a compilation of my answers together for commonly asked citizenship questions. Let's enjoy watching my compilation while I enjoy getting the technical team in here to fix the computer. Let's watch. What I said this is the law with all these wires. Okay, so what you have to do is look at your passports and look at the calendars. Okay?
Okay.
So law number 1 is 5 years permanent resident. You have that.
Okay.
Okay, because you've been a green card holder since 2008. Satisfy that rule. Okay. The next rule is no trip out of the United States more than 6 months in the preceding 5 years. Now, because you had a trip for 5 years out of the country up until 2014, basically you would have to wait until 5 years from the time you came back in 2014 before you file your citizenship.
I'm married and I've got my 2-year green card, but it expired and I went and I got the extension. So my question to you is can I go ahead and do the citizenship or do I have to wait?
You have not gotten approved yet, have you?
No, I'm like waiting on the 10 years.
You and your spouse are together still?
Yes.
You have children?
No.
All right. I mean, you could file if you've been pending, if you've had a conditional green card for more than 3 years, you absolutely could file the citizenship. I think in this day and age, I used to tell people years ago, yes, file for your citizenship. I think now in this day and age, it's so difficult with immigration that you should wait on the approval of the I-751 and then do your citizenship.
Yeah, a friend of mine went to do her swearing last week for her citizenship. She was seated and everything. She said while she was seated, the lady called her and said that she won't be able to be a part of the swearing for unseen reason why.
Either it's just a happenstance that her fingerprints didn't clear, or that they're mistaking her for somebody else, or she has some serious issues in her background that have been uncovered right before she was about to swear in. I don't know. So this is the law. If you are married to a United States citizen and you worked illegally, that is not a bar to getting a green card. He would have been a citizen under one of 4 scenarios. We have to go back to what the law was in the 1980s, not what the law is today. What the law is today is different. What the law back in the 1980s was, he would be a citizen under one of 4 scenarios. 1, mom and dad are both citizens and he was under 18, which is not the case. 2, mom is a citizen, mom was never married to dad, but it was the opposite, dad was the citizen. 3, dad's a citizen, dad divorced mom before 18, which didn't happen. Or 4, mom or dad's a citizen and the other one died before 18. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, now we're ready to do something that we like to call getting immigration questions and answers through Brad Bernstein by calling a telephone number. How's that? Is that what we call it, Yo-Yo?
That was great.
All right, let's go to Salar in Fairfax, Virginia. Salar.
Hi, Brad. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
So my question is, I'll try and keep it brief. So I applied for my permanent residence I-480 of the common card a few days ago, but I have my advanced parole and I was thinking about leaving the country. But then in 2012, I had a criminal charge of possession of marijuana, and that charge, final disposition was not guilty, and my plea was not guilty. And this.
If you were not guilty, then you can travel. It has nothing to do with what you were charged with. It has to do with the final disposition. So you were charged with possession of marijuana. I assume it was a small, simple amount, and you were found not guilty, and that's your only case. You're free to travel.
Okay, so when I come back, they're not going to give me problems at the border.
I can never guarantee you they won't. When you say a problem, they have the right to ask you, and what you should do is bring your disposition with you from the court.
Okay.
And you don't have to show it to them. You don't even have to bring it up. But if they do ask you, say, "Here's my disposition. Case was dismissed. Let me in."
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
That's simple.
And I got a reckless driving charge last year, but it was a no-lay prosecute.
Then also bring that as well, because that's also dismissed.
Okay. Awesome.
And stop
Thank you so much.
getting in trouble, man, because you're not going to get so lucky the third time.
Okay, sounds good. I won't. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, let's go to Chantel in West Palm Beach, Florida. Very near Rambo the Parrot. Chantel.
Maybe Chantel knows.
Chantel. Can you imagine if it was Chantel goes, "Let me out, let me out." Chantel. Hello, Chantel. How are you?
I'm okay.
What can I do to help?
Question. I have a question. My husband has a felony case going on, and he has 3 charges. However, I spoke with an immigration lawyer. They said I would be qualified to apply for the VAWA. So my question is, if I go ahead and apply for the VAWA, and if the case goes to trial and I refuse to testify in terms of do not show up, would that deny my VAWA application?
All right, so these are 2 different things, okay? Number one is, it sounds like your husband was charged with a felony for domestic violence.
Yes.
Okay, and you are a witness to that. So that is
I'm the
right.
I'm the victim.
You're a witness and a victim. That's a VAWA case. If you make a charge against somebody and you refuse to testify, that in of itself could be a criminal charge. So now, if the government wants, they can charge you criminally, potentially with that, and then you would cause a problem. Why don't you want to testify?
The beginning, I wasn't the one who called. It was the neighbor who called.
Why do you not want to testify? You don't want him to be in trouble?
No, it's not that. It's just that I was thinking about the kids because we have 2 kids together.
Yeah, I understand that, but you need to hire a criminal defense attorney if you're planning on not testifying, because that in itself could turn into criminal charges against you. I don't know the potential for that because I'm not a criminal defense lawyer, but there's potential for that, and that can cause a problem. All right. I assume 9 out of 10 times your husband will take a plea and would not go to trial. But certainly you need to speak to a criminal defense attorney, because by not cooperating with the district attorney, you don't want to have charges brought against you.
No, and because what happened, I wrote a letter to the state attorney asking if they could drop the charges.
They're not going to drop the charge. They're not going to drop the charges because the charges are not from you. The charges are brought by the people. Okay, you did not bring any charges up against your husband. You are a victim and a witness, but the charges are brought by the people of the state of Florida against your husband. And whether you cooperate or not, ultimately your husband most likely will be found guilty anyway, because the police came and saw everything that was going on.
Okay, so it's wise for me to testify then.
It's wise for you to cooperate, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. It's not about testify, it's about cooperate.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you.
All right, Chantel. Let's go to Siri, calling from the Apple store. No, Sri, calling from Fremont, California. I read it wrong. Sri. Thought it was Siri for a second. Sri, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. I'm married to a permanent resident.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not filing the taxes jointly, but we have everything like bills, PG&E and everything which comes to home. So we have a bank account. Is there a problem for that?
Yes, you have to have a joint tax return. Yes, have a joint tax
return. You don't have.
Yes, do it. Go amend it. Go do it. You want to know the quickest way to getting a Stokes interview? Show up with something other than joint tax returns. You want to know the quickest way for immigration?
Yeah, we have
Shri, listen to the words that come out of my mouth. The quickest way to get immigration to not believe you are in a bona fide marriage with your spouse is to show up with something other than a joint tax return. Quickest way. Go do it. Go amend the taxes.
Okay. And I have other question. She's about to go for the interview for her citizenship.
Yes.
And she has a problem with her case before, she was sent back from the airport like 15 years ago.
I don't know why. If she got turned back at the airport 3 years ago, she got deported?
No. She was 15 years ago.
Okay, I would need to see why did the government know when she got her green card that she was previously deported? Because when you get when you say, one second, when you say,
the immigration knows that.
Hear me out. when you say got turned around at the airport, that means she got deported. She was found inadmissible at the airport 15 years ago, which means a 5-year, which was a 5-year bar, most likely for some sort of misrepresentation. Somebody had to file for her and do waivers. Those were all done?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay, then she's okay then.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do your joint tax return. Wally in Boston, Massachusetts. Wally. Or Welly. Wellen.
Hi, Wellen.
How are you, Wellen?
I'm okay. Thank you for answering my call.
What can I do to help?
Okay. So my sister was on a TPS and
from what country?
She got married.
What country?
Come again?
Your sister was on TPS from Liberia. She got married.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Yes. So she got married and then she got a 2-year green card.
Okay.
It will be expired this year, and she got divorced. Her husband, she went Africa last year. So when she came back, her husband divorced her. So she got divorced. So she wanted to know if she's qualified for.
She has to file to remove the conditions of her permanent residence. She's not going to be able to do the Liberian amnesty. You have, if you get a 2-year green card before you try to get a green card some other way, you have to make an application to remove the conditions of your permanent residence first. And if she got divorced from her husband, the way to do it is, here's the divorce, here's the I-751 application, and right in the middle is all the documents that show me and my spouse were living in a bona fide marriage. But she's not going to be able to do the Liberian amnesty because until she goes through the process of removing the conditions, she can't do anything else. And that process is an 18-month process. And by the time that process is done, the Liberian amnesty is over because it's only good for 1 year. All right, hold on if you need help. Let's go to Peter in Miami, Florida. Peter.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, what's up?
I'm going to ask a few questions. I came to the States in April of last year to work on a work permit, and I met a lady in May, and we fell in love and started a relationship, and we got married. Right? So everything was going good until she suddenly told me that she's having
an affair.
She's an emotional problem.
What's the emotional problem?
Like, she thought she was ready for a relationship, but
and she was
wasn't.
not. It happens.
And she was not.
It happens.
So what happened,
right.
So what happened is my work visa expired in October, and after, in about the last week of November, she started telling me all this stuff. And that she doesn't want a relationship right now, so we're going to send in her paperwork to apply for a green card. But she decided that she doesn't want a relationship anymore. That's not going to work out either. So I'm asking you guys, what should I do?
Well, there's not. I try to go for counseling. Try to get her counseling if you love each other. If it's a situation where she wants to be in a relationship, but it's you, she doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, there's nothing you can do, and you would have to get divorced and find another way to get a green card. But it doesn't sound like there's abuse in the relationship. It just sounds like the woman's having a breakdown, and I don't know if it's a breakdown because you're causing it, or it's a breakdown because she's just having a breakdown and has nothing to do with you. I don't know, but you gotta solve the root problem of her breakdown and see if you can save the marriage. Other than that, you got to get a divorce and find another way.
No, the marriage is over. All right, so I'm just calling
then get divorced. Then get divorced and fall in love again.
So get a divorce.
Get divorced and fall in love again.
All right, so is divorce going to affect me being in the country?
There's no such thing as filing a vow, because when the marriage breaks up, I've said this 1,000 times, you can try to work things out with your spouse and get back together. You can file a VAWA. You can get divorced and remarry. Those are your options. That's everybody's option. You haven't described anything that would even remotely sound like a VAWA case. This sounds like the woman just had a breakdown, and it's unfortunate, but that's what it is.
Okay.
All right, so hold on. You need a divorce and an immigration consultation, both. Let's go to Brandon in Hackensack, New Jersey. Brandon.
Hey, how you doing, man?
How are you?
Not too bad. So, I got married in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my wife were supposed to move in together, but she had like an anxiety attack.
You and Peter, both. We get with women with butterflies in their stomach. They get scared. Wow.
So she had an anxiety attack, and at the time we decided that the best thing for her was for her to go and stay with her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of got back on her feet, and things worked out. She lives in Georgia, so we got an apartment there.
Right.
I sent in my paperwork. I have an interview scheduled for the 21st of this month.
Right.
I'm a little bit concerned about evidence because all we have pictures here.
But you're not living. You're not living together right now, so it's a problem.
No, we got an apartment.
Are you living together right now with her?
Yes, we're living in.
All right. So if you're living together, you're going to be able to prove it. All right. And if there was an issue of, things were rocky for a little bit, she moved out, you're back together, you'll just have to explain. That's what happened.
Okay.
All right. If you need help, hold on 1 second. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Sid in Denver, Colorado. Sid. Sid.
Yes.
How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm doing good, thank you.
What can I do to help you?
Yeah, I have some questions that is bothering me. The first one is that I'm talking about my nieces. I have nieces back in Congo.
Back in where?
So they were living
back in where?
In Congo. In Congo.
In Colombia. In Colombia.
No, Congo.
Congo. Got it. Africa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So they were living with my mom, and my sister traveled a long time ago. We don't know where she is, but they were living with my mom. And
How old are these girls now? How old are these girls?
The first one is 11, going to 12, and the other one is like 9, and the other one is like 8.
Are you a citizen, Sid?
Yes, please.
All right. So what you want to do is you want to adopt these children and bring them here. You got a missing mother and no dad. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, the mother is not, but we're living with my mom.
Okay, yeah. So all right. Away. So they were living with your mom who just passed away. Who's raising these girls now? Because the mother's gone, and I assume I never heard you mention the dad.
Yeah, the father never been in the picture.
Where the mother's disappeared? Who's raising these kids now? They're living by themselves?
Oh, now they are with my baby sister. She's 21.
All right. So what needs to happen is in Denver, Colorado, you need to do what's called the pre-adoption. And at the same time, you need to go into the courts in Congo and have the mother stripped of her parental rights and the father stripped of their parental rights because they abandoned the child. And then bring the children over here as orphans. And then do the adoption here. We can help you with all of that. It's a process. It takes about 9 to 12 months. So hold on 1 second. All right. In today's Spar and Bernstein Close-Up, immigration attorney Shannon Laguerre-Mangret gives tips on how to make it easier for your attorney to get the best result for you. Let's watch.
One way a client can make a case much easier for an attorney is by telling the truth. I emphasize that all the time. I don't know how many situations I've had where a client decided not to tell the truth, and if they had told the truth, I would have been able to assist them and actually be able to get either their green card or be able to keep them in the country. I think it's so imperative to be able to be honest with your attorney, to explain to them even things that you may think is not important, but explain it to them. If you've been arrested, you should tell your attorney that. I had a case not too long ago where the client didn't think it would show up because she had already done her fingerprints. And of course it showed up when we went into the interview. So again, it's really important to be very honest with your attorney so they might be able to assist you in being able to get the best result for you.
Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, Velma in Hackensack, New Jersey. Velma.
Hello, Brad. How are you tonight?
Good.
Yeah, I have a question. I have a sister here. I petitioned for my mom this year, make 5 years.
Great.
But my question is, could my sister was here? She came on a visiting visa. She didn't go back. So can my mother file for her, or because she was here before my mother?
Yeah. Once your mom has a green card, she can file for your sister. Absolutely.
Even if she was here before my mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let her file the I-130. How old is your sister?
My 38.
Yeah. Your mom's got to file an I-130. It'll take several years, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it is. And then she'll probably have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back unless the laws change.
She would have to go home to get it there?
Do a provisional waiver at the end to go home, come back for about 2 weeks. You do a provisional waiver here. You get your provisional waiver approved here. You then go home. You then come back. It's like touch home, come back. But that'll be 5, 6 years down the line. Let's see what the laws are 5, 6 years. In the meantime, let your mom file for her.
And you said it will take 5 to 6 years.
At the present time, that's what it is.
So if I had put in her paper before the 5 years with my mother, it would have been less.
Correct.
Okay.
Let your mom file for her now. That's the key point.
So let her file let's file I-130.
Correct.
But so for me, if I would file for her, it would take
too much longer. Let your mom do it as a resident.
Okay, Brad. Thank you so much.
Welcome. All right, let's go to Murad in Yonkers. Murad.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking my call.
My pleasure.
Thank you. I have a small question. Yesterday, I had my citizenship interview, and the interview was scheduled after a mandamus. So what happened is I went to that interview, and everything went well for that civic test, the English test. You know, she went through the application. But this is why I'm concerned. After that, she asked me for an additional statement, and she placed me under oath again, and literally spent an hour asking me too many personal questions, like, where's your dad, where's your mom, how old were you when you came to the United States, how much money you sent to your dad, how much money you sent to your mom, all of these kind of weird questions.
That has nothing to do with whether you become a citizen or not. So this is,
Yeah,
did they ask you for any additional documents, or that was it?
No, when she did actually all these questions, she printed them out, and she had me sign all these papers.
Okay, fine.
And I'm just asking, like, is this something happens with a lot of people, or just only
just
because
you.
we have a mandamus, or?
No, mate, I don't know what country you're from.
I'm from Jordan.
Because you come from a Muslim country and because you did the mandamus. What you should do at this point is you wait 120 days. If after 120 days you have no response from immigration, you see, your mistake was doing the mandamus on a citizenship. You should have done what's called a de novo review. A de novo review is also done in federal court, but instead of asking a federal judge to make immigration give you an interview, what a de novo review does is takes the file out of immigration and lets a federal judge decide on your citizenship, where you'll have a much fairer result. So now you had
like 3 years waiting for the interview.
Now you cannot do anything for a de novo review. What the law says is you can request a de novo review if you go on a citizenship interview and you have no result after 120 days. So you wait the 120 days, and then you hit them with the de novo review. It's in federal court. Goodbye, lady who just took all my information under oath. De novo means new review. The judge looks at it from a blank slate.
Because I let you know, just the mandamus is still on file, so we didn't drop the case yet.
Good. Keep it going. And then what
so
you
I don't have to do anything after that.
No, and then what you should do is then I'm not sure off the top of my head whether you would amend the complaint to do a de novo review or withdraw the mandamus and just file a new de novo review. That's just a procedural thing. I would have to figure out for you.
Okay.
All right.
Just a small question related to this. Unfortunately, my dad is not doing well back home, and I need to go home immediately. Is that something safe to do?
Go. Yeah, just don't stay out for too long.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, let's go to Gene in South Bend, Indiana. Gene.
Hello.
Hi, Gene.
Good. I'm calling from South Bend, Indiana. My question is, I came here 2013 with a visiting visa, and when I get here, I applied for asylum, but asylum was denied. The time I applied for asylum, I applied even for the green card, the lottery. And then I applied on my side and my wife, and then my wife, she get selected, and even me on her case. I will fill up the paperwork, and then my daughter, they asked me to go to Africa in order to get a visa. I refused to go there because I was overstayed. They was going to ban me for...
Gene. All right, so you came here. You came here. You filed for asylum. Your wife won the lottery. So your wife and daughter came with green cards, but you never went home. You're now. What happened on your asylum case? You got ordered deported, and you're still here in America?
No, I'm still here in America. They denied my case, and then I went to court in Detroit.
And you lost that case too?
And then when I went to Detroit, they never gave me asylum.
Okay,
then,
so you lost that case too. So that means the judge ordered you deported. Your wife has a green card. Is she a citizen now?
No, not yet. She came here 2015.
All right. So two things. One, we got to see what happened on that asylum case, but it sounds like you got ordered deported. Two, we got to make your wife a citizen as quickly as possible, which will be sometime in 2020. So that way, once she becomes a citizen, if you have been ordered deported, we can try to reopen your case based on a bona fide marriage to a U.S. citizen. But that would all start from me getting your records and seeing what's going on. So hold on one second. All right. Let's go to Cash in Gatesburg, Maryland. Cash. Gatesburg.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I got married in 2017, and I'm filing my I-751 this year because my card expires next month. However, the first year we filed our taxes together. The second year we didn't file. We do live together. We bought a house together.
You
and
got to file joint tax returns for every year. You need to prove it's a bona fide marriage. So you got to amend the taxes.
To go and amend them.
Yep.
Okay, because there was an
just go, there's no ands or buts. Just amend it.
All right, thank you, Brad.
You're welcome. Let's go to, not sure who this is. It's cut out. See if I can. Oh gosh, there we go. I'm not sure who I'm speaking with. Some Perez, perhaps. Perez, kind of cut off. Let's see. Monique. It's Monique from Hartford. Monique.
Hi, Brad.
Hi. How are you?
Good night. I'm fine, thank you.
What can I do to help you?
So I came here from 2012. I recently got married, but last year I got in some trouble and I was arrested. I'm on probation now.
For what?
Someone came in my backyard and I had to defend myself.
Someone came into your backyard and you had to defend yourself and you got arrested for assault?
Yes.
So not only did you defend yourself, apparently you went on the offensive too. Where did this happen?
Here in Hartford.
And what ultimately did you plead guilty to?
I didn't plead guilty. I had a lawyer and stuff, so now I'm on probation.
Well, you pled guilty to something if you're on probation, because you wouldn't get probation if you didn't plead guilty to something.
Well, my lawyer was the one who's talking for me, so.
All right, so what you need to do is hold on. We got to figure out what happened there before I give you advice, because you don't even know what happened yourself. So we'll just be talking in circles. So hold on one second. All right, but if you're on probation, you pled guilty to something. Right?
It's true.
And somebody just randomly walked in her backyard?
Yeah.
She went on the offensive. If it could happen.
Yeah.
You know, after you defend yourself, then you start. That happened to you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's go to Rodrigo in Arlington, Virginia. Rodrigo. Rodrigo.
There, yes. So my question is, I've been a permanent resident for 12 years.
Right.
Last year, I was charged with an embezzlement case. I pled guilty, and they gave me 2 years of suspended sentence and 1 year probation.
What was the embezzlement?
The amount?
Yeah.
Close less than 10,000. I think it was 8,000.
Okay. What? It was embezzled from who, where, what, how? Just quickly.
It was from an employee that was working.
Right. So it's less than $8,000, then it would be a crime of moral turpitude. If it was more than $10,000, then it's an ag felony, and then you got a problem. Now, when did you get your green card, Rodrigo?
I got it 12 years ago. Just 2 years ago, I renewed it for another 10 years.
And when did this offense happen?
Last year. It was before. I renewed my green card before this situation.
Great. Now, this is your only time you've ever been arrested in your life?
Yes. I got a...
So from this is your deal. If you stay in the United States and don't travel, you're not deportable, because you have a crime of moral turpitude because the embezzlement was less than $10,000. It's your one and only offense, and that crime of moral turpitude was committed more than 7 years after your first entry into America and more than 5 years when you got your green card. That is not a deportable offense. Now, if you travel and come back into America, you may be found inadmissible depending on whether it's a petty offense or not. I would need to go look at that disposition to determine if it's a petty offense. I do know what you're describing to me is not deportable. I also know that if you stay put for 5 years good moral character from the time you end with probation, because immigration is going to leave you alone as long as you don't travel. 5 years from the time your probation is up, you file for your citizenship, you'll become a citizen. Assuming you do nothing, don't travel though, because if you travel, you could have a problem coming back.
Yeah, that's what
the laws are different. The laws are different for traveling into America versus you're physically here and they're going to deport you. So what you have described to me without me looking at your records, so I put this in quotes. I'm not going to give you 100% until I see all your records. But what you're describing to me sounds like it's a crime of moral turpitude. It happened more than 7 years after you entered America, more than 5 years after you had your green card. One crime of moral turpitude in that scenario is not a deportable offense. Wait 5 years from the end of your probation, you're good. Hold on if you want me to actually confirm all of this. I'm basing it on what you're telling me. Hold on. Let's go to Joseph in McLean, Virginia. Joseph.
Hi, Brad.
Hi.
So I'm so glad to be speaking with you today. I've got this issue. I got married in March 2018 and I filed in July 2018. Eventually, I got the EAD and advanced parole in November 2018.
Right.
We got the interview. I went with my wife and our daughter in April 2019. And I didn't get a response. I was told to wait 120 days. I didn't get a response. Whenever I call to find out the status of the situation, and they always say it's still within processing time. I should wait. And I kept waiting. But so this week, I guess it was on Tuesday, I got this letter in my mail saying, due to unforeseen circumstances, your interview is scheduled for April, which I've gone to. The interview I've gone for, they said, your interview due for April 23rd has been canceled.
Wait, you went on an interview and then they canceled it after the fact?
No, I went for the interview last year. Right,
all right, so they scheduled you for a second interview, but you never got that notice. But wait. You went on an interview, you didn't hear anything, and now you get a letter in the mail that your interview scheduled for April 2020 is canceled, but you never knew you had a second interview.
It was until yesterday that I checked. I kept checking since that day, and it was yesterday.
I'm trying to understand your story because it's like all over the place. You went for an interview with your spouse at some point in the past. It was been more than 120 days, right?
April.
Okay, it's been more than 120 days. That was in April of 2019. We're now January 2020, and you get a letter in the mail saying that your interview scheduled for April 2019 has been canceled?
Yes.
That's what you're telling me?
Yes.
Well, obviously
yes.
that's a mistake because your interview was 9 months ago and you went on it. So obviously that's a mistake. I would suggest you go down to the local office and try to speak to somebody.
All right. So two problems I got about that. In Maryland, there's no way I can book an info pass. I've been having issues with that. So yesterday, I kept tracking my status of the application. So yesterday, I got a notice on the online status, which says on January 6th, 2020, we scheduled an interview for your for your form I-485. We will mail you an interview notice.
All right, so you're gonna get a new. All right, so you're gonna get a new interview notice shortly.
Oh my God!
All right, if you need, you're asking me why immigration hasn't mailed you a notice yet for your interview, even though it says online. What would you, Joseph?
Why would they cancel an interview that was held already?
You're asking me why immigration wrote a wrong letter to you. And
yes.
I am telling you, I don't have the slightest idea why immigration, it's obviously a mistake and needs to be fixed. So you can call them, you can write them, you can go down. You're like, I can't go down, there's nothing I can do. So then you tell me, well, online, they just changed the online status yesterday. They're going to send me a letter in the mail. So I said, okay, wait for the letter in the mail. More than that, what can I tell you? I mean, you want my help? I can have somebody contact immigration on your behalf, but I can't. What more can I tell you on a live show?
Okay, I understand. I understand.
All right.
Let them know, Brad. Let them know.
Yeah. All right. So, by the way, I have an Instagram account. It's at Real Brad Bernstein. So if you don't get an opportunity, and that's really, I check that more than anything right now. So if you did not get an opportunity to ask me your question, or you just happen to like me and want to follow me, you can follow me at Real Brad Bernstein. You can drop me a DM. I'll try to help you as best as I can. If not, I'll tell you like what I told Joseph, make an appointment to come in. Because I can't answer your question. I don't know why immigration wrote you a letter about an interview that already happened. I don't know why you got a wrong letter. Obviously, there's obviously a mistake. We'll figure out what it is. But I can't fix it right now. How would I be able to fix it? In the meantime, you can follow me on at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram. And if you drop me a DM and it's a simple question, I'll give you a simple answer. If it's more complicated like Joseph, then I'll tell you to come in and see me. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. We are running a contest for a free consultation with me right now on at Brad Show Live. If you find the post where I'm schmoozing about Australian fires and you like that post and you follow Brad Show Live and you tag 5 friends in that post, you're going to be entered into a contest that we're going to pick out of our machine on Wednesday. One lucky winner to get a $200 consultation absolutely for free by me just for doing that stuff. And Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, what can we do about your Instagram?
Follow.
Just follow.
Yes, at Yonathan Elias TV.
All right, Yonathan, we've come to the point of the show.
Yes.
Okay, where there's a inflection point in the show.
Yes.
We can go one of two ways.
Let's do it.
We can say, bye, we're going for the weekend. Or we can do something we like to call social media check-in.
All right. All right, our first question says, if I have an adjustment of status in process and I got arrested on domestic violence, can I continue to do biometrics, etc.? Or do I have to wait until the court is over? I'm waiting on my court date.
What do you mean you have to wait for your court to be over? Say it again?
So they have an adjustment of status in process and got arrested on domestic violence. So
you got a big problem.
To do their biometrics.
Do his biometrics anyway, follow through, but make sure you found innocent, because if you're convicted of domestic violence, you're not getting your green card and you're getting deported.
All right. My question is that the wife of main sponsor has joint tax filed with his husband. NVC is asking the employment letters of both of them, but the wife is now out of any kind of work. Now, what can we send to the NVC?
Just a letter saying I'm unemployed and get a second affidavit of support.
Okay. Akian saying, if someone is married to an LPR, is their waiver is there a waiver they could file so they don't have to go back to their country to get their green card?
Only if you're 245I eligible or you're still in legal status.
Okay, Harjinder saying, I came here illegally, my VAWA 360 approved. I-485 applied, my asylum also pending in immigration court. USCIS told judge can grant relief. Am I eligible?
You got to withdraw your asylum, and if you're in court, you need to make a motion to recalendar your court case to tell the judge that you filed an adjustment application and you want to withdraw your asylum. That's what you need to do.
Okay, Felix saying, happy Friday. The 120 days, according to USCIS officers, up, but no decision on I-485 family case. What should I do?
Follow up or file a mandamus.
All right, D saying, my husband filed an I-130 for my 15-year-old son who lives in Jamaica, but he has a visiting visa. Can he come and visit while his case is processing? I really miss him.
If he has a visitor's visa, he can come. I hope they don't give him a problem with the airport.
Barney saying, kindly advise what the immigration law says if a conditional green card holder leaves the country for over 1 year.
You've lost your green card. You've abandoned your residence.
Tanisha saying, how long before they contact you after submitting DS-260 to NVC?
Depends what your priority date is.
Okay, Angela saying, how will I know if I qualify for CSPA? I was petitioned by my resident mom 7 months after I turned 21, but their visa was granted before I turned 21.
I would need to look at the I-130 and tell you it's a calculation.
Amandeep saying, my dad filed a petition for my unmarried son and daughter in September 2015, approved the I-130. My dad passed away the third...
Dad passed away after the I-130 was approved?
Okay, probably. And
Yeah.
what would be the next step? I'm a citizen and mom is a green card holder.
Where Dad filed for who?
Dad filed for the unmarried son and daughter.
Where's this unmarried son and daughter?
Not here.
Okay, so then you need to substitute in, or your mother needs to substitute in based on a humanitarian waiver and complete the case.
Yeah, Amandeep, so maybe India.
Maybe India.
Booba or Bubba.
Bubba.
Mm-hmm. It could be Booba.
Yeah.
Bubba saying, hello, please, I have a question. My sister, she's an American citizen, so she wants to bring her husband in the USA. She's 19 years old. Is it possible for her to start to file for her husband at that age?
Yes.
Berthony or Berthany?
Bethany.
It's Birth.
Oh, Berthany.
Mm-hmm. My friend is a U.S. citizen. She petitioned for her little half-brother from Haiti. Since 2016, that case has been approved, then sent to USCIS. So one of her brothers is going to be 19. Can he come before he's 21?
It just depends on what the priority date is.
All right, Drew Berry. Can I call in your office tomorrow for filing joint taxes with my wife with the ITIN?
Yes.
All right. Akua saying, can my spouse submit an I-130 petition week or two after I applied for the I-539B1 extension?
No, because then that would be misrepresentation.
Zanik saying, if I applied for a VAWA and did not show up to testify in trial, would that deny my application?
That we talked to her on the phone. That was the woman who had the husband with the felony, and I said, you got to cooperate.
All right, Rodrigo saying, I'm a permanent resident for 12 years. Last year I was charged with a felony embezzlement charge. My final sentence was 2 years.
We talked to this guy on the phone too.
Tammy King saying, I filed for my husband in October 2019. We received a yellow courtesy letter saying we have not done the medical. Does that mean that all paperwork is good and we
just
need to interview?
It just means bring the medical to the interview.
Nad Smiley saying, what supporting documents do I need to send to 3 sisters in F4 category to take their visa interview?
It's already been done. It's the affidavits of support. You've already done it.
Okay, Tamika says, I would like to know if you married and divorced before putting any paperwork. Is that considered not married at all?
No, it means you're married and divorced, but you're single now. It just means you're going to go on your second spouse.
Okay, Bijan Denine saying, my wife is in immigration to U.S. Our 3-year-old U.S. citizen son is coming with her to U.S. for the first time. For DS-260 applicants' children's section purposes, is our son immigrating or not?
Yes, it sounds like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Juliet saying, my husband filed an I-130 for his stepdaughter 2019 in December, and he got the receipt, but the name is spelled wrong. So what can he do?
To write a letter saying the name is spelled wrong, please correct it.
Okay, Tamika Walker wants to know, can my kids that is here grandfather that has a green card file for them?
There's no step-grandfather filing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's see if we have any more.
Well, here's something interesting, Jonathan.
That actually is the last.
All right, good. A criminal record, because we get this a lot, for a non-United States citizen can affect their immigration case negatively. It can even put someone into deportation proceedings. I spoke with immigration attorney Yonathan Aftalion and trial attorney David Moreno, both of Spar and Bernstein, about how to get a criminal charge removed from a record in New York with something called a 440 motion. Let's watch. Criminal convictions, depending on what they are, can make an individual inadmissible in the United States and can even lead to deportation. But there is hope. A 440 motion to vacate a criminal conviction can be very useful in immigration proceedings. If a conviction no longer appears on a record, that person may have options to remain in the United States and receive immigration benefits. Here to discuss 440 motions is Spar Bernstein's immigration attorneys, Yonathan Aftalion and David Moreno. Now, Jonathan, your practice is more immigration. David, your practice is more litigation, criminal defense, and personal injury. You guys all work together to help clients. Jonathan, why can some criminal convictions be particularly damaging for immigrants versus people who are U.S. citizens?
So based on the immigration laws, there are certain criminal convictions that are considered aggravated felonies, drug offenses, or what's called crimes of moral turpitude that could really negatively affect immigrants. It could stop immigrants from getting green cards or even make them deportable in certain cases.
Now, David, you are a former district attorney in Manhattan. You have handled thousands and thousands of criminal cases as well as civil cases over your career. Tell us a little bit about what is a 440 motion, especially here in New York, because in different states they call them different things. In New York, they call it the 440 motion.
Yeah, absolutely. 440, it stands for Criminal Procedure Law, Section 440. In Jersey, like you said, in other states, Jersey calls it PCR, post-conviction relief, but here we're dealing with a 440. And essentially what the 440 law allows, in very, very finite cases usually, it allows for us to take a look back into an old conviction that was a plea. That's really the key thing there. It's a plea and not something that was adjudicated at the trial, where someone that was not a citizen of this country entered into a plea and they were affirmatively misadvised on what that plea would mean for the immigration consequences in the future. So what the court will look at is two things. First, they're going to look at, was the person affirmatively misadvised? And then the second thing they look at is whether or not that person who's a non-citizen would have acted differently if they had the information or the correct information. If someone is charged with a murder, for example, and the evidence against them is extremely strong. In that situation, if they were offered 10 years jail, for example, 5 years jail, something that was a small sentence for that heinous crime, anyone, regardless if they were an immigrant or not, would take advantage of that opportunity or avail themselves of that offer. So in that situation, even if they were misadvised, the court would say
they got a good deal. Right.
Now, in a situation where the evidence was a little weak and maybe a reasonable person could have explored the option of trial, but for that misadvice, they would have done that. Those are the cases that are going to get overturned consistent with CPL 440, which is based on a Supreme Court case, United States versus Padilla.
I'm glad you brought up Padilla. Padilla was decided in 2012. Padilla decision says if you are not told about the immigration consequences of you having a plea deal, if the judge or your attorney doesn't explain to you when you plead guilty to this crime, you may get deported. You may not be able to become a citizen. You may not be able to travel. You may not be able to get other immigration benefits that you apply for. That is a constitutional violation of your rights. If your conviction or your plea was prior to Padilla, prior to 2012, it is not a constitutional violation. How do you deal with post-Padilla convictions or plea deals versus pre-Padilla?
That is a great demarcation and distinction. When you look at the pre-Padilla cases, judges were not in the process of systemically asking this line of questions during sentencing. Are you a citizen of the United States? Are you aware that pleading guilty to this crime will result in a negative impact on your immigration consequences?
So a lot of times this was never asked.
Never asked.
But it was not a constitutional violation at that point not to ask it.
Correct. But post Padilla, that was the aftermath that the courts put into place to protect themselves from people coming with these sort of claims. So pre-Padilla contact, we have a situation where there's very, very limited records oftentimes. There's nothing in the court file that would indicate that they were actually advised that this would be a constitutional violation, because like you said, it wasn't. In those situations, we oftentimes have a very, very strong case. Now in post-Padilla situations, doesn't necessarily mean that they have no relief. In those situations, specific circumstances, we can do what we call mitigation packages. And the reason why we do those and the thought behind it is that luckily we live in New York City. And without getting into politics, the politics of the DA's offices in New York City are very reflective of the city itself. And when we have situations where a non-citizen who's been in this country for a long time, who's been paying taxes, who's got ties to this community, is, but for this situation, going to be here in this country, we can oftentimes appeal to the humanity of the DA's office through voluminous material that this person deserves to be here. And even if they don't per se qualify under Padilla, we have oftentimes been able to find relief for them as well.
I like to call it the Titanic case, where you play the violins at the end and you make everybody feel sad and despondent for this person. Please save this client. It's a very, very sad situation. We play the violins, and a lot of times it works. Now, Jonathan, let's just switch gears for a second. There's a lot of talk now about legalized marijuana. A lot of states are legalizing marijuana, so at the state level it's legal, but on the national level from the U.S. government, it is not legal. I've seen situations where people who are green card holders who are working in legal marijuana farms are now being stopped at the airport for being suspected drug traffickers, even though they are legally working in state marijuana farms that are legal under state law but not legal under national law. Simple marijuana convictions still have consequences. You want to talk about that?
Yes, Brad. So right now, it's still under federal law. These drug offenses are still illegal in terms of, especially immigrants. Simple possession of marijuana can still make you inadmissible to enter the United States and will affect your status of getting a green card. It could also potentially make you deportable depending on how much marijuana was found on you at the time. Even though states are legalizing it, if you're convicted in federal court or if you have the state violation that precede the legalization of that marijuana, then you're still liable under the Immigration Nationality Act under the federal law.
So you're still going to need to be able to vacate those convictions, even though you say, well, in the state where I live, marijuana is legal, so I should be okay right now. And that's not particularly the case.
It's very state-based. If the state actually retroactively states that all the simple possession of marijuana cases that have been prosecuted in the past are now vacated.
That happened in New York with simple marijuana.
Yes.
How does that affect your immigration status?
So right now there's actually ongoing litigation on it, but we would make the argument that it's a vacatur similar to the 440 motion and that it should not affect your immigration status anymore. If the state does not retroactively take it out, you are still liable for it under the federal laws.
So, David, when do you say it's okay to do a motion? A lot of people come to us and they say, okay, here's my one disposition. Here's my second disposition. At what point is it too many dispositions, too much to try to vacate? When do you say, okay, this is a case worthy of moving forward, and this is a case that maybe we shouldn't? Because there's a lot of people out there with criminal records who are stuck, can't make a move, they can't travel, they can't become citizens, they don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So at what point is it worthwhile for somebody to come and try to do this? At what point is it not?
It's definitely situation dependent. I wouldn't absolutely rule out folks with multiple convictions, because sometimes in those situations, the same person was represented by the same attorney for every last one of those convictions. So under the law, in theory, it's possible that that same person did not advise them of their immigration consequences or affirmatively continue to misrepresent how this would affect them. So in those situations, albeit, a little bit more rare, we could move forward. But generally, the line of demarcation is 1 to 2 offenses, usually max. Those with 4, 5, 6 offenses, if there is the same attorney involved, maybe, but generally we're talking about 1 to 2 offenses.
Now, Jonathan, is it common sense now that before you plead guilty to a crime, you should be checking what's going to happen with your immigration status? And what if your attorney doesn't give you that option or tells you, because I've seen this a lot, don't worry, it won't affect your immigration status, and then you find out it does?
You should definitely contact the immigration attorney if you are not a U.S. citizen and you're being charged with certain crimes. Now, their defense attorneys may tell them that, oh, don't worry about this, you won't have jail time, but those are the same people a lot of the times that were filing these 440 motions because they did not properly advise their clients on the immigration consequences. So we have criminal attorneys contacting us, immigration attorneys, and asking us how this would affect their immigration status. And that's what we're here for.
But if a criminal defense attorney gives you bad advice and says, don't worry, this won't affect your immigration status, and then you come to Spar Bernstein and you're like, well, you pled guilty, you're deportable. What are your options?
What we want to do is to build our cases to find as much supporting documentation as possible. A lot of times it doesn't exist. But in order to do our due diligence to literally make a credible argument before the court, we would order the old court file. And that is for a number of reasons. It's not just to find, that red herring where the attorney said on the record, listen, Joe Schmo, defendant, this is not going to be an issue for immigration consequences, because it's not going to be there. But what we can do is we can paint a picture from the transcripts and the court records. So now we can show from the court file and his testimony, which I'll swear to under oath that his attorney said X, Y, and Z on X, Y, and Z date, and there's only been 2 appearances, and there's no records from the jail that his attorney ever came to see him. Now we can show that what he's saying is likely to be credible.
What about federal cases?
There's no 440 under the federal law.
So once you plead guilty in federal court, there's no way you're
There's no relief. If you plead guilty in federal court and you're still within the statute of limitations for an appeal, you can appeal your case in a traditional way for a number of reasons. However,
and I'll tell you the number one reason to do it, it's not a final conviction for deportation until the appeals court's made a decision.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that's a good loophole for folks like Jonathan dealing with immigration ramifications.
Jonathan, tell me about a successful 440 case you worked on.
Well, there was a case where the client was in removal proceedings. He had his upcoming immigration hearing, and he had 3 simple possession of marijuana convictions. So we had to vacate all 3 convictions in that situation.
And we were able to do that?
We were able to contact the assistant district attorney's office, and as David said, built a package of the heartstrings. The client had a younger brother who had schizophrenia here. He was the only one that was here that was working and providing for that brother. So we were actually able to get 2 of the convictions dismissed outright, not even repled, and then get the 3rd conviction repled to a disorderly conduct, which didn't affect his immigration status, and take that disposition into the court right at the day of the hearing. And we were able to not only get him out we just went for termination of his proceedings, and were able to terminate it.
Well, congratulations. Great job, David. Great job, Jonathan. Both of you with great stories and great information. And people who have convictions, who find themselves in this situation, who find themselves prisoners of America because they can't make a move, they can't travel, can't get their green card, can't become a citizen, can't renew their green card. As David said, as Jonathan said, it pays to just find out if it's possible. So you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your time. Great job.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Oh, wow. That was a what do you mean, thanks for watching? We're not done yet. We're not done yet. All right, any event, let's put a minute on the speed round clock.
Yeah.
Try to answer 10 questions in 1 minute.
I'm a little nervous.
Are you nervous? I see explosions happening in our studio.
Oh, no, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that. Let's go fast. All right.
All right.
1 second. We need complete silence. We need full concentration here. Everybody in the booth, hold your breath. Squad, hold your breath. You ready?
Yes.
Go.
Tanya says, can you use the I-10 to fill out a W-4 for a job?
You can, but it's probably not going to be legal.
Wayne says, if I fill an N-400 form with wrong info, do I have a chance to clear that during the interview?
Yes.
Marlon says, do you have to go to immigration court if I withdraw my case?
If you withdraw your case, you may.
Praneeth says, will priority date change from I-130 to I-360 if U.S. citizen spouse? Marvelous saying, I received a prima facie determination after the VAWA, and the question is, can I apply for advanced parole?
If you have an adjustment pending.
Amita says, the amnesty for Liberian, is it for Sierra Leone too?
No.
Tanisha says, what's the next step after DS-260 is submitted?
Wait for the National Visa Center to send everything to your home embassy.
Monica says, if you're American born and you're on Medicaid and food stamps, what can you do to file for your spouse?
Get off the food stamps.
Hope says, my court case dismissed, can I still get a green card?
I don't know what your case is about.
Good afternoon. I'm married to LPR. Is there a waiver I can file? I don't want to go back to my country.
You gotta be 245I. We did it! 1 second left! Oh my God. I said I can't handle blowing up this place anymore.
Oh, that scared
I can't handle blowing this place up anymore.
I was actually really nervous.
Wow. All right, comments of the day. That was a Guinness Book of World Record one.
Yes. That's the one that we're going to send in.
Yes. All right, comments of the day. Phew. Look at that. 1 second to go.
Lord,
I'm looking at the replay. My head is about to explode.
Like my brain right now does not feel too good.
All right. Comments of the day.
The first one comes from Donna Bless saying, it's nice to see everyone on Uncle Brad's ship sailing on the ocean.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that. Very nice.
All right, our second comment of the day comes from Lisa Bling Rose saying, squat up. Uncle Brad and Dr. Yo-Yo. I can't do without this show. I'm sleeping and dreaming about the show.
Ooh,
sleeping
really?
and dreaming about us, Lisa Bling? Oh, I like that.
Yes.
All right, our third comment of the day comes from Don Harriet saying, why don't they check with Brad first before going ahead and then call him after the fact?
Aha! She's got it!
You got something there.
Yes.
You got something there, Don. All right, guys, our last comment of the day for the week comes from Therese Slater saying, I am naming Uncle Brad the Immigration King. I am in awe of his knowledge, as we all are. Woohoo!
Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you back Monday. Be safe. And what else we got to say?
Peace.
Peace out. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.